it's Nonye, and this is Book Bites, where we devour good reads. On Book Bites, I will be recommending amazing books and delicious foods to go along with them. In this last episode, I'm with Lilly talking all about the 3 cozy winter books for the season. If I'm honest, I really hate the cold, but that still doesn't stop me from enjoying winter. One of my favorite top drinks is hot chocolate. It's chocolatey. It's amazing. So yeah, that's my favorite. I definitely use it when it gets way too cold outside. I love ice skating. That's something I enjoy doing, especially with friends. This year, I'm pretty proud of myself. All I needed was 1 lap around the ice rink to get going, and I went really fast. So I was really proud of myself on that. And of course, we gotta say the holiday season. Bro, I love the holiday season. I love Christmas. It's all of the good joy, the good feelings and stuff. I was so happy this Christmas. We had a bunch of fun. But yeah, I love the carols. I love the food. Man, the food is probably the best part. I love the lights. I love the crafts. I love everything about it. I love the gifts too. I like some gifts. I like giving gifts too. But yeah, it's holiday season by far is the reason why I love winter. Because other than that, I would no. It's too cold, guys. It's too cold. One thing I also like is being cozy. I found myself staying in bed a little bit later and just cuddling up in my blanket because it's so warm. And no way I want to get out of bed. No thanks. I also found myself taking much hotter showers and longer too. But yeah, on the other side of being cozy, I like making cozy things. This holiday season, I learned how to make a chunky knit blanket. Y'all should totally try it. It was therapeutic for me, each tiny little finger knit. I loved it. I'm planning to make a lot more. I just wish the yarn wasn't as expensive because those things can get $7 to $13 and it's are you joking? But other than that, yeah, I love making those. So when I read books, the cozy factors I give, honestly, it's more for I feel cozy winter stuff is more in the romance section almost, just because you got fantasy, adventure, mystery. Those are less cozy, if you get what I mean, because they're about murders or there's more important events going on in the season. But romance is all about the cuddly feeling. When it comes to romance, cozy books, they gotta have food. They have to be sharing a hot cocoa together, or eating something together, or doing fun activities outside because that's super cute. I remember one book I read, it was a sequel to it was a sequel to 100 Days of Sunshine. Oh my goodness, it was so cute. They did snowball fighting and they ended up shoving snow down their backs. It was so funny and it was so cute. So yeah, I always love the fun winter activities and the fun food. What I'm currently reading right now is 3 Assassins by Kotora Asaka. Yeah, it's basically where this retired or resigned teacher is trying he's getting into all this shady business because he wants to avenge the death of his wife, but then he ends up getting caught up with 3 assassins. One of them, this Sadata, is a knife expert. I honestly love his personality. It's just, they have really good internal struggles, each and every one of them, and it makes me really happy about it. The Pusher, this next one, nudges people into oncoming traffic. Super cute, right? And then The Whale whispers stuff to get people to kill themselves. So yes, it's really not a pretty book, it can get pretty gruesome. I was reading it in my advisory and there's a couple people watching me grimace. But other than that, it's a pretty good book. It's starting to pick up now, where I am. But yeah, I think the characters are really good. They have great internal struggles. I'm really liking it so far. But enough about me. I have a more obsessed reader here with me today. Just wait until you hear how many books she's read in 2023. Everyone give a warm welcome to Lilly. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm so excited to be on this podcast.
I'm happy you're on this podcast too. Let's just get into it. What is your favorite part of winter?
Ooh, a good question. My favorite part of winter is being inside with like a blanket and just like something cozy, warm. It's really cold outside, and this is the time of year when it is allowed to just be warm and comfortable all the time.
Exactly. No. Yeah, I love being cozy too. Awesome. What is your favorite winter carol?
I love the classics. Like I love the Oh Holy Night. That's one that I recently discovered. I love Oh Come All You Faithful. There's also a song from Anastasia called Once Upon a December. I don't know why I love it. It's not really a carol, but it's just such a sweet Christmassy time song.
I need to check that one out. I haven't heard it. So, tell me a bit about yourself as a reader. Give or take, how many books did you read in 2023?
Okay, I know the exact number.
All right.
According to Goodreads, I read 99. According to my own calculations, I read 101.
Yes! Girl, I can't even imagine 100 books. Like, how fast would you have to read?
Well, it'd be like 2 books a week. I feel like I didn't read 2 books a week. It would be like I'd read 4 books in 1 week or like half a book a week. So just it fluctuated from week to week.
Still though, that's amazing. And do you have any New Year's resolutions regarding books this year?
A big one is I am choosing quality over quantity when it comes to reading. I think my goal for 2023 kind of set me up poorly because I was like, just read 100 books. But then I would read books that weren't that great, and I knew they weren't that great, but I was already invested in them, and I paid for the book, and I'm trying to get to 100. So, like, the quality of the books was not good at all. So this year, I'm choosing to just, like, read books that I genuinely think are going to be good and I genuinely want to read, which I think will, like, prevent me from getting into a book slump. It's always a good goal.
Always a good goal. So, speaking of different books, what has been your latest favorite read?
My most recent favorite read was The Roommate Pact by Alice and Ashley. Ooh. It was so good. There are a few things that I honestly didn't love, but the general, like, theme of the book about, like, letting other people love you, I guess, it was so sweet and powerful that all the other things that I didn't love, I just kind of ignored.
Right? That's what you sometimes have to do with books. Like, so, basically just, like, who's the character? Can you give us a quick
Yes, of course. Okay. So the characters' names are Graham and Claire. It's so cute because they're in another book, but they're side characters, and then they got their own book.
Oh, yes.
So fun. And in this book, they are roommates. And they kind of, like, had this whole thing where they were friends, but I don't know, they never said, let's be in a relationship, even though they kind of liked each other. But then Graham gets injured, and Claire's taking care of him, and as they, like, spend time together, they realize, like, wow, I really, 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 really like you. That's very
adorable.
Cute.
No, that sounds like a cozy read for sure.
Yes.
And on the flip side, what are some icks you have when you're reading books?
I have so many. Okay, one, if they mention Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, blech.
That's so funny.
Yuck. I hate it. I just don't want to hear about that. Another one is when I feel like authors rush the relationship and don't give them time to just be friends and like each other as friends, because it's really hard for me to believe that, like, let's say it's enemies to lovers. You go from hating someone to loving them. Like, there has to be something in between where you're like, I like you as a person. Like, I would want to be your friend before I'd want to date you. There has to be that moment. Otherwise, it just feels unrealistic to me.
I feel you on that one. Yeah, no. With my enemies to lovers, I need the banter. I need the slow build up. I can't just have it be, actually, now we love each other. It's, no. But yeah, I feel you on that one. drum roll, please. Blueberry muffins. This is an absolute classic. These were first introduced as bilberry muffins in the early 18th century. Yeah, I didn't just say that wrong. This was used as an English tea snack. The English pilgrims brought this recipe to the new lands, but instead of finding bilberries, they found blueberries. So what's the difference between bilberries and blueberries? In looks, you have to go deeper than the skin. Bilberries have red flesh, while blueberries have a green flesh. In taste, bilberries are a lot more tartar than blueberries. This is because there are a lot more antioxidants in bilberries, almost 4 times the amount of antioxidants. Almost 4 times the amount of oh my goodness, this is so hard to say. Almost 4 times. Okay. This is because there are a lot more antioxidants in bilberries, almost 4 times the amount of antioxidants than blueberries. But blueberries beat bilberries in their amount of vitamin C. Basically, the pilgrims had to adapt their recipe a lot so that it tasted exactly like it did back home. Another fun fact, Minnesota made blueberry muffins their official state muffins, which I didn't even know states had an official muffin. But yeah, in the top book, the main character's mother used to make her blueberry muffins with orange juice every Christmas. This really connected with me because my mom makes some really good blueberry muffins for breakfast. And unfortunately, I don't have her recipe, but I do have another recipe for you, and it is just as good. This recipe has a range of measurements for salt and sugar depending on the tartness of your blueberries. I used frozen blueberries, so I picked 3/4 cup of sugar and a half teaspoon of salt. Though I'm pretty sure half of it flew out of the bowl when I was whisking it, but that's besides the point. On that note, just be patient with your butter and sugar. It's not going to look like a meringue when you first whip it. For some reason, I thought it was going to look like a meringue. My sister did too. She's like, that really does not look like a meringue. What are you doing? But it didn't have the eggs in it yet, and I was ready for it to turn into cream. But if it looks like a whitish granule clay, you're good to go. You're done with it. So start adding in the eggs. And another tip is to make sure to leave the butter out for a little longer so it doesn't spin out like mine did. So something I did to help though, because I already added it in. So put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. And just so that it softens a little bit, but not enough so that the sugar doesn't caramelize and the butter doesn't melt. Those are my tips. Let's see what Lily thinks. We're a lot of fun.
I feel like I shouldn't have eaten breakfast. I'll just eat this.
Right? No, yeah. That's fine.
I feel like that kid in that Easter video that was eating candy.
Oh my god.
Funniest kid I've ever seen. I feel like
wait, what year was that? Because I know
I have no idea. I was probably in 5th grade.
Oh yeah.
It was probably COVID time.
Yeah,
but I remember I think they were supposed to have other people do the video, but they were like, nah, this kid's fine.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's funny. Alrighty, so let's get into our 3 books all about winter. Number 3 is Meet Me in London by Georgia Toffolo. This book is about Victoria, she's a aspiring fashion designer who spends her days working at a bar in Chelsea and her evenings designing dresses. But she wants to open a boutique, but it's overshadowed by a new department store that's close by. And Oliver, he's the manager of this department store, and he's rushing to get the store open on schedule. And then on top of that, his mother's pressing him to introduce his non-existent girlfriend over the holidays.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Oliver basically strikes a deal. He's like, Victoria, if you become my fake girlfriend, then I'll showcase your ideas in the opening. And it's so good. It's a really good feel-good story, and I love it. The familiar relationships, all of the interactions between them is so cute.
Aww.
So yeah, then number 2 is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. This is basically it's like a readaptation of Sherlock Holmes. It's so good. It's it's a 5-book series, so be sure to check it out. It's pretty short too. They're not like humongous. So Jamie Watson, he does not want a rugby scholarship, especially at a Connecticut prep school that's too close to his estranged father, and especially at a prep school that is close to Sherlock Holmes, basically the great-great-great-granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes. So after a rough first meeting, he's like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just admire her from afar. And then a student is murdered under Sherlock Holmes' unusual circumstances, and Holmes and Watson are framed for it. So now they have to clear their names before it's too late. It's a really suspenseful and fun book series. I really love they basically argue most of the first book, and it's kind of funny. So
I really love some banter.
Right. And then number 1, we got Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Lily, do you want to talk?
I would love to talk about this book. This is the first book that I read in 2023, and I'm so glad it was a 5-star read for me. Basically, the book is about Macy and Elliot. They follow Macy, but Elliot's such a big part of the book. She has kind of a hard childhood, and you just see her grow up and make friends. One friend specifically, Elliot. You see her relationship with her father, you see her relationship with Elliot, and then something happened in their friendship where they don't talk anymore. And the book picks up there. So it's a back then and right now timeline. So you get to see snippets of their past and then what's going on in their present. You get to see this is what their friendship was like, and this is why they don't talk anymore. And it's just really sweet, funny, but also emotional. Something happens at the end that I'm not kidding, I cried. I sat in my bed and cried because it was so painfully good.
Yeah, no, I was hooked by the first 3 pages. I'm still kind of reading it now, and oh my gosh, I love the relationship so much.
They're so precious.
So much. So now, is it super sad ending?
No, the ending's not sad, but something happens before.
Okay.
Yeah,
now I'm
I don't want to spoil that.
But yeah, so that's what we got. Our top 3. Lily, thanks so much for joining me today. This was an absolute blast. For our Cozy Winter books, we recommended Meet Me in London by Georgia Toffolo, A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro, and Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. These books have been 10 out of 10s for us, and we hope that they're 10 out of 10s for you. And thank you so much for supporting this podcast. I've enjoyed every single step of the way. Thank you for tuning in, and until the next chapter.